are flocking to Wendy. They're getting their money and waiting for the doors to open. Because Wendy's hot and juicy big classic hamburger. They're laughing. They're dancing in the street. They're swinging on over to pick up Wendy's big classic for just 99 cents. So don't hang around. Grab a friend along. You're loving Wendy's big classic for just 99 cents. But you better shake a leg. You're running out of time. Classic hamburgers for just 99 cents at Wendy's.
If you have one night only to spend in the theater, spend it with the smash hit musical Green Girl. The winner of 4 nights of Tony Awards and the other musical, Michael Bennett's production of Green Girl. Spend your one night with the golden for time called soaring, thrilling, and explosive madness. Green Girl, a dazzling, glittering, triumphant blockbuster. Those words belong to one girl only, Green Girl. And now the one get the recognition. Now, Rob Curtis, Liz Ayers, and Mark Cooper on sports. This is Human Center 5. Listen up, and I knew what's going on. County lawmakers have a lot of unanswered questions about departmental procedures following the shooting of 2 members. Now, Clark reports tonight the legislature's public safety committee wants to try to find ways to get an answer.
Lawmakers say they've received numerous questions from deputies and the public on Sheriff's Department procedures, but the district attorney's office advised the committee that it would might hamper state criminal prosecution. And the legislation about legality, the committee decided to submit a compiled list of questions to the sheriff in a written response. The few questions were thrown on the floor.
Specifically dealing with questions of conduct in the sheriff's department. With that in mind, I think we should schedule a reasonable schedule, but I don't think it should be any more than a couple of weeks. Why the person has to be transported other conversations of obviously remote courts throughout the county, night after night after night.
The Public Safety Committee will ask the sheriff to respond by the committee's first meeting in March. How constitutes the response?
State lawmakers are also looking at the police state. Today, they put part of the blame on prison overcrowding. Dave Bullock was in Albany as the state committee began its own investigation. The Code Committee probe began quietly today. No new revelations, but with a clear focus. What's wrong with accused killer Billy Blake? In Center 5 has reported the state parole board looked at Blake's behavior behind bars and refused to grant parole. But the corrections department looked at the same record and set Blake free on time.
This is an expensive crowd, it's prison overcrowded, especially when it's overcrowded prison. Occasionally letting us let someone out, let out.
The Codes Committee today raised several public policy issues that will fuel many debates for the next several months. Governor Cuomo raised the first such question yesterday by suggesting changing the parole system.
Does question under parole. I just think this is changing now. Obviously, but it is a very that's a very big question.
Under this, Sirens was removed long before now, just before the parole board in the state of California, and apparently has exemplary conduct as a prisoner, and would have been released after the minimum sentence.
So at least 3 probes into the shooting are underway. What they show us is that for a while, at least, law and order issues will be seen from a fresh angle, an angle that includes the view of a courthouse in DeWitt 2 weeks ago. Dave Bullock, News Center 5. Meanwhile, investigators say an Onondaga County sheriff deputy says Jimmy Blake tried to grab his gun 9 years ago. At the time, Blake was just 14 years old. The incident apparently came to the attention of investigators last week. But Sheriff John Dillon questions why the officer never brought the incident to light until now. According to the deputy, driving a maroon or brown station wagon. Anyone with information is asked to call the Sheriff's Department at 425-3081. Lawrence Canary was sentenced to spend time in prison. The former Utica councilman was sentenced today to 2 consecutive years in jail and pleaded guilty last month to election fraud and conspiracy of executive election in 1985. Canary ran for re-election in 85 while serving 45 days in a Herkimer County jail for statutory rape involving his underage girlfriend. More debate over age testing surfaced today at hearings conducted by the National Centers for Disease Control. One question, should there be mandatory blood testing for marriage license applicants or hospital patients? Experts agree that wider testing could slow down the spread of AIDS. High mass has become a routine practice of medicine as taking a pulse or a blood pressure or listening to the action of the heart. Opponents argue that education, not testing, slows down AIDS. They said the money spent might better be used for general prevention, treatment, and research. The nation's governors endorsed a sweeping change in the U.S. welfare system today and got busy lobbying for their proposals on Capitol Hill. The plan would require welfare recipients to work for their government assistance. Our governor, Mario Cuomo, says he's thinking about going to Moscow. He's not saying who invited him, but a spokesman says Cuomo has not yet arranged any meetings with Soviet officials. And just 5 days after taking himself out of the 1988 presidential race, Cuomo all but endorsed a fellow governor as a good candidate, Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis. Cuomo thinks Dukakis has better credentials than himself and has urged him to seriously consider a bid for the Democratic nomination. A theme song, a logo, billboards around Onondaga County is part of a new promotional campaign for the city of Syracuse. The song, to be played on television and radio, was written by local composer Todd Hogan.
I walked around Syracuse and the surrounding area, talking to people when I found out I was going to write this song. I asked them what they felt about their community. We did that in the ad council in a meeting. I just said, well, what do you think of this community? And everybody in this community feels the same way about it. They do feel very much like the family place.
The promotional campaign was funded primarily through volunteer time and effort. Just ahead on E75, President Reagan said he doesn't remember if he shipped arms to Iran in 1985. And the police involving 4 trucks near Verona, 1 man is killed.
It's a better deal on a better car, and he sells at a better price. And Courtesy Ford is also known for giving Central New York biggest payment allowance. Just come there are better prices and bigger trade, and find out why Courtesy Ford is the home of the Twice as Good deal. It's a better deal on a cleaner car. You gotta stay applied to my Courtesy Ford for 11 and 2 days. What a matty day.
Hi, I'm Frank Weissman of Weissman Furniture. We've done it again. We bought the entire showroom of Simmons high sets. 5 beautiful styles, many different fabrics for only $4.99. That's right, Simmons style with meteorite quality matches for only $4.99. And they're all in stock for free immediate delivery.
Show off your style. Sail a single for the bass band, and you sail a single for the band. Sail a single for the third grade, and you sail a single for the grade. Sail a single for the guy.
refrigerated ham, chicken, crab meat, and tuna. Now it's the show.
Shop and save on Borrego al fresco spaghetti sauce. 30 ounce jar, only 99 cents. Stock up on Blue Boy vegetables, all varieties. 16 ounce can is free for only $1. Take home sausage pure bass fish in 4-old packs at 79 cents. And Tropicana chilled orange juice. 64 ounce carton, only 99 cents. It's possible to forget. That's how President Reagan put it today when he commented on a disputed point in an Iran-Contra affair. Reagan was asked about a report that was coming to the state of sure when it approved the 1965 equipment of U.S. arms to Iran. The President responded this way. When traditions are changed, you have to say that it's more than just a failure of memory. Asked if the president's memory is failing, Mr. Reagan's spokesman replied, "That's outrageous. I won't deal with it." Meanwhile, fired White House aide Oliver North has gone to court to stop the Iran-Contra probe by independent counsel Lawrence Wall. North's lawyers say Walsh is granting too much power. They filed suit in federal court seeking to fill up former secretary of the National Security Council. He's granted immunity from prosecution by the Wall panel. Wall reportedly has acknowledged altering 4 memos in the NSC files and destroying some Iran-Contra related documents. Downtown, independent, and ex-airport cabbies met tonight to discuss their plan of action against Metroplex. The cabbies are ready to put up a fight for what they feel was wrongly taken away in their territory. They're not going to go away. They're going to be here. We got a lot of things going, and we're going to be a thorn in their side. But downtown is our territory. We don't want these guys downtown. We want them back to the airport. In an effort to find a solution to this problem, the taxi drivers have decided to unite to wage a war against what they call a common enemy. A truck driver from Bend County remains in serious condition tonight at University Hospital. 38-year-old Frank Yost was at the wheel of one of 3 tractor trailers that collided on the state thruway. They attempted to avoid a forklift that had lost a tire. Yost's truck carrying cattle burst into flames. He suffered burns and was airlifted to the University Hospital here in Syracuse. The other drivers escaped serious injuries. Wall Street ended on the plus side today. At the closing bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 7 points, 2,223. The Standard was at -67. Trading was active. 152 million shares changed hands. Next, Randy Winter is in with the 5-cast for the rest of the week. And part 2 of Paul Berg's series in Hollywood on Vanessa Williams. Upstate Nissan dealers are blowing away high prices with our great winter sales explosion. Right now, factory incentives can save you hundreds on our front-wheel drive family car. Get a 5-speed Sentra for $1,000 less than a comparable Toyota or Honda. Engines for hundreds less than Camrys or Accords. The luxurious Maxima, $3,000 less than Toyota Crest. Get your cash for your buck. See your upstate Nissan dealer today.
There's 17th annual golf on. Teams off this Sunday, March 1st at 11 a.m.
Check out our 12-pages. This Sunday's pages are these super buys.
Like great savings on Collegeville, Spalding, Lakes, and Whirlpool Clubs, featuring a dresser and power tool.
Golf balls like the Spalding, Hot White XL, Titleist 384 DT, and Wilson, Homestead, Ultra, and Slow Select.
50,000 golf pins, 800 golf bags, hundreds of putts, wedges, metalwoods, and accessories.
Everything you need. Play a better round of golf. It's sale right now.
So don't miss the 17th annual golf-a-thon at Dick's Clothing and Sporting Goods in the Hexter Plaza, Erie Boulevard East.
We tried to make our Heinz home-style gravy just like your homemade.
Oh, really?
We made it with real beef toe-style gravy. So close to homemade. Who on earth has every brand new TV on sale? Silo. Every major appliance for a minor price. Silo. All audio equipment and systems for less. Only Silo. And right now, during our Everything's on Sale sale, everything in the store is on sale. So don't put it off. Come to Silo's Everything on Sale sale and get everything for less.
Watch Television Home Finder's Guide for more homes for sale than ever before. Sunday mornings at 10 right here on TV5.
Now, tonight's winning lottery numbers, daily numbers, 4, 6, 9, win 4 combo, 2, 4, 5, 8. And tonight, Randy Weather joins us for the weather, and Randy, most weather people would consider this boring weather, but this is the kind of boring I like.
I tell you, sunshine is the name of the game. It really is unusual, Bob, to see as much sun as we've seen this week. This month really is. I'm a little afraid we may be using up our lot of the sun days for the year right now in the season of winter. In any event, things aren't going to change that much, at least until the weekend. Temperatures that are staying on the cool side. Our high today, 32 degrees, set this afternoon. The low, 23 degrees, 10 o'clock. That is also our current reading. Warmer than it was last night. This time, no precipitation today, no snow, leaving the totals unchanged. Right now, we are under clear skies, 23 degrees. The barometer is 30.35. Relative humidity, 64%. And the winds out of the west at 12 miles an hour, making it feel as though it's just about 2 degrees above zero. Here's the way things stay up around the 35 viewing area at this hour. Clear skies just about everywhere. A bit overcast though in Oswego. Temperatures range from a chilly 8 degrees in Old Fort, 14 in Hamilton and Roanoke Beach, to 28 in Ithaca, the hot spot this evening. All these temperatures on the cool side around central New York because, well, there's hardly a cloud in the sky, at least around our part of the Northeast. No clouds in sight tonight, tomorrow night, really right through Friday. The reason for the clear sky is a fair weather system that is dominating our weather across much of the Northeast. Another system moving in from the west could bring us some moisture in the form of snow for a part of the weekend, but it's so Friday is looking night and sunny days. So, the next 24 hours won't bring a whole lot of clear sky up in the north. High temperature stays throughout the U.S. annually, and where it stays until things start warming up by Saturday. Here's the way the clouds are in New York. Mainly clear this evening with a low in the teens, winds light from the northwest. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high near 35, winds still from the northwest, 10 to 15. Tomorrow night, mainly clear with a low near 20. Thursday, sunny, a little bit warmer, high 35 to 40. Chance of snow on Friday, high in the mid-30s. No rain on Saturday, high moving up into the 40s. And cold with a chance of snow Sunday, high in the mid-30s. So now the winds will then start moving with us at least throughout the end of this week when things really start warming up. A bit of rain or snow possible by Saturday.
Okay, thanks, Randy. Still ahead on Newspaper 5, from Syracuse University students to Miss America to what she is now. Our two of Paulburn series on Vanessa Wilson. And it's sports, scoop, and scores and highlights of the late 10th century hockey semifinals. Announcing the biggest good value package in Chevy history. Now get a new this year 60,000-mile warranty. Plus on select Chevy pickups, Lowe's, and financing. Or $500 cash back. It's Chevy's biggest value ever.
us more about TV Guide than the checkers at a supermarket. Is it, do you register there?
Right in front, where everybody can grab it.
Where do you put the TV Guide in the bag?
Usually right on top so they can look at the picture. If it's a double paper bag, it's got to go right between the folds so it doesn't get crushed or smashed or wrinkled or anything.
Is it the most exciting thing to grab in the whole supermarket?
Well, just about. We'll be waiting for you at the checkout counter.
With your...
TV Guide.
Georgetown just folks keep track of this game because of what it does to SU in the standings right now. The Hoyas pulled a half game ahead of Syracuse. In second place is Big East for the win over Boston College tonight. The Hoyas had a 9-point lead on BC at halftime, but they put Eagles away after the intermission. Reggie Williams leading Georgetown with 25 points tonight in a 79-65 win. The Hoyas are now 11-4 in the Big East. One game left to play. The Orangemen, of course, have 2 left. They play at St. John's tomorrow night. Couple of upsets in the top 20 tonight. West Virginia knocking off Temple at Temple tonight by 3. And Oklahoma takes it on the 10 at Iowa State 86-84. Closing the home, Colgate loses against Hartford, and Ithaca knocks off Oneonta State 71-53. In pro ball, the red-hot Detroit Pistons won their 10th game in 12 outings against the Nets tonight. This one was a close battle all the way. Score tied at 107 in the late going. Boys there, Thomas Rock 61, 120 to 112. Anthony had 32 points. The Blues had no limit to the 15th place on the NBA's all-time scoring list. On the game for tonight, York at home. No Los Angeles Lakers 120 to 109. And Chicago Bulls against the Atlanta Hawks. Bulls coming out on top by 10, 113 to 103. The Lemoyne Women closed out this season with an 83-54 win over Portland State tonight. Cassie Ontario had 17 points in the game. Tennessee was 1,270 all-time record. In high school tournament action tonight, section 3, Class A Bishop Lux wins all the way over West Tennessee. In D1, it was Nottingham blowing out Notre Dame. But the upset of the night comes in Class B2. Holland Pats over the top seed Marcellus 58-53. CBS got 42 points from Frank Conley and still lost in one going overtime 59-57. Class B1 will Tampa won over Mount Martin. Little Falls won over Waterville. And Class B1 Bishop Cunningham unloaded on Mooresville 110-61. In Section 3 hockey action, the top-ranked team in the state, Skaneateles, advanced to the sectional championship game with a home win over Clinton, and Johnny was there.
The Lakers, having had a bye in the first round of the Division I Section 3 tournament, came out a little tight, and Clinton goalie J.P. Thompson was red hot in the opening period, which saw no scoring. Skaneateles broke the ice in the second period when senior center Jim Thomas connected. Then, 7 minutes later, the Lakers again. Jeff Corey unassisted. Still in the second, Thomas got the Lakers' final goal with 3-0. The third period got sloppy, with Clinton taking out their frustrations with a few real cheap shots that resulted in a couple of game misconducts. The Laker goalie sophomore Scott Robertson lost his shutout late in the game, but Skaneateles won it. The final was 3-1.
Was a little tight. He handled the relatively easily last time, and it was a really tight game. And I was really proud of the way he took place.
But you got some good goaltending.
Yeah, we had excellent goaltending. Scott Robertson, our sophomore goalie, done a nice job tonight.
Next up, the Lakers, Rome Free Academy. They beat them last year in the state championship in a brawl-filled game. John East, New Center 5 Sports.
Here's the score of that Rome Free game. Academy winning 8-3 over West Jennings. The sectional championship Saturday at Utica. The streaking Buffalo Sabres played host to the Rangers tonight. Sabres led 3-2 in this game in the second period. The third goal, a beauty from Dave Logan with a drop pass for Jim Korn, who scored. But the Rangers tied it on this goal. John Harrison in the slot made it 3-all. And minutes later, Tony McKechnie scored in the same spot. The Rangers will be for good. They won 6-3 the final score. St. Louis knocked off the Islanders tonight 3-2. Washington over Detroit 8-2. And Pittsburgh beat Edmonton 5. Finally, in college hockey tonight, Bob, Oswego State 7-3 over Hamilton. All right, thanks, Buck. From students in Charlotte, within just 3 months, Vanessa Williams made history by becoming the first black Miss America. As we continue to second series in Los Angeles, New Center by Paul Burke takes a look at a beautiful story that stops 2 months short of a happy ending.
Yeah, I mean,
vividly. I wish I had more time to know what it was all about.
But at the SWAT stage, again, as a 2-year-old deputy sophomore, reported as Jimmy Van Heusen.
And so the guy thinks he's a great American pageant, you know, and it's just kind of like the junior bird.
When I first met her, I never forget, I always said she had the looks and the voice of Aunt Carol and the legs of Julia Bell.
Those of us who had the manager, Vanessa reluctantly entered the Greater Syracuse pageant.
When I became her ship on a stage level, she never ever once thought that she had it in her head. Never. I had no idea, you know, I just went with, you know, my instinct and went up for it.
From state competition, it was on to a national crown.
It's still on. Vanessa Williams.
At this point, you're kind of frazzled, but, you know, on Wednesday night, I won swimsuit. I won a swimsuit award. Thursday night, there wasn't, my category wasn't up for anything, and Friday I won talent. So I figured swimsuit and talent, you know, and the girl before me, Debbie Moffat, 83, had won swimsuit and talent and won. So I know, hey, I know I was going to get top 10. It's over and it's just beginning, so that wasn't what really happened at all, but it was a sad relief when my name was called.
And there you have it. For all of us who watch the late night news watch, here's your news center spinner. Colored flies in your business? Would you like to save money on your next fly show without sacrificing quality or service? I'm Hank Beaumont. Industrial Color Labs makes business flies like these without the need of expensive artwork. Simply give us your sketches or rough drafts, and our slide generating computers will do the rest. And the best part is the price. Title slides are $10. Word slides, chart or graph, $20. Text slides, $30 to $50. Paper copy laser prints are $7.50, and the service is fast. Your finished slides will be ready in just 3 days. We have overnight service available if your schedule demands. Call Industrial Color Labs at 437-1155. You'll be surprised at how easy we are to deal with and how inexpensive, top-quality, computer-generated slides can be.
Straight year, Volkswagen is the best-selling European car line in the U.S. The Golf is the best-selling car in all of Europe, and the Jetta is the best-selling European nameplate in the U.S. When you're hot, you're hot. Celebrate. You'll receive the big dealer receiving air conditioning at no extra charge. A savings of $740 on select Golf, CLs, and Jettas. See your Volkswagen dealer soon. Otherwise, you're left out in cold. Special factory to dealer incentives make it possible to offer even better deals on other Volkswagens.
party with Bob driving us. We invite you to join us Tuesday at 7:30 for a weekly show right here on 55.
Listen, weekdays 5 on 55.
When I'm reading a good book, I find it impossible to put it down.
On 2020 Friday, we've taken on the mob, busted Wall Street. Now America's #1 crime fighter comes through. The whole world is control. Plus, if your kid is a bully, he's more likely to end up in jail as an adult. How to turn him around before it's too late on 2020 Friday.
Good evening, I'm Karen Gallagher.
I'm Roy Dibble. Coming up at the Atlanta prison, armed troops go in and bring dozens of prisoners out.
And St. Louisans are bringing fewer items to a local charity, possibly because of the new tax law.
Plus our close-up report, Winging It.
Channel 2 News is next.
Jack in the Box? Now they have taquitos? What do they know about taquitos? I know taquitos if you know taquitos. They know taquitos? I know they're beef in a con tortilla, and you know they're beef in a con tortilla. Jack in the Box? What do they know?
Taquitos is the new Mexican seafood food at Jack in the Box restaurant. Shredded beef in a rolled tortilla with guacamole or salsa. Serious food that's fun to eat.
I was out window shopping the other day. It was Thanksgiving time, and I wound up buying some great food.
Yes, it's Thursday. I never even knew that they could do
An apple bologna sandwich, a couple of stale potato chips. I said, look, this is in my parking space. And I found one about a half a mile away. I said, hey, what do you want? You know, mother.
Well, definitely not the same old story.
Doesn't know where to go.
Today, there's so much more.
How about annual deductible? Now it's too. You mean I don't have to pay $100 first? Nope. Please start paying right away. It's getting more or less. You better stop now.
I'm Chucky. Give us a listen on KHTR. We've got a fresh new music mix of the 80s. No guys. Well, maybe just a few. Wake up with 103.3 KHTR.
Wishing you and your family a very special holiday season.
This is the award-winning Channel 2 News, St. Louis. Now, Roy Dibble, Karen Gallagher, Mark Owens, Super 7 with the 10 o'clock report.
Tension is running high in the federal prison in Atlanta, where Cuban detainees holding 75 hostages are threatening more violence. Good evening. Tonight, troops armed with automatic weapons and gas masks brought dozens of prisoners out of the Atlanta penitentiary.
Mostly Americans were transferred out of the prison by bus. Not long after that, riots moved in after some of the Cuban prisoners who had this late report from the police that the Richard Edmonds report.
The Atlanta Federal Penitentiary, this is why as the sun goes down. The detainees trying to seize the hospital building and take over at least a portion of it. The length of riot crews pour into the building. Sálgame, todos estamos controlados, por favor, no se van a the hospital or hospital riot crews withdraw.
Second earthquake in 12 hours has rocked the border area of Southern California, 90 miles east of San Diego. Authorities in Westmoreland, California, report 44 people were injured by the tremor, which had 6.3 on the Richter scale. Roads and walls reported buckled and some mobile homes were knocked off the foundation, but across the border in Mexico to Mexico, officials say that 2 people were killed in association with the quake, and hundreds of people had to be evacuated from buildings suspected of sustaining structural damage.
With a handshake, Secretary of State George Shultz and his Soviet counterpart wielded arms today, registered for a successful summit. Shultz and Kremlin Foreign Minister Edward Shevardnadze agreed to the first superpower task, eliminating an entire class of nuclear weapons. But all was not wine and roses. Shultz says there are 2 things they are unable to settle. Shultz says they haven't found a way for Gorbachev to speak to Congress during his visit, and he was unable to win Soviet support for a UN arms embargo against Iran.
Granite City Police said suspect contact with a highway shooting death, 21-year-old Todd Trump. Gene Arnett is a convicted armed robber who has been out of jail a couple of months. Yesterday, Arnett was arraigned on attempted murder charges after allegedly shooting a gas station attendant with a shotgun during a robbery last weekend. The gas station attendant is hospitalized in serious but stable condition. The shotgun was also used to kill Todd Trump. Arnett is being held a $500,000 bond and his son is $250,000 bond in the gas-station robbery. And a feeling of goodwill towards Brazil seems to have come up.
The Russian agency which helps the disabled are concerned. Tonight, reporter Rocky Madden tells us you may be able to help.
Goodwill stores are going through some stormy times. Shelves in some departments are almost empty, and officials are worried.
We don't want to have crashes. We're trying to avoid crashes.
The problem is not enough items are being dropped off at collection centers like this. Collections this year are down 14% from 1986. Last month they dropped 33%. The month is used to rehabilitate, train, and employ 1,000 disabled people in the St. Louis area.
But down the road, possibly in the spring of this year, we can start having difficulty with continuing the level of service we're providing in terms of employment and training for disabled people.
Harry thinks recent changes in the tax laws may have caused people to give less. He reminds taxpayers that if you can't itemize, still take exception. Goodwill officials are hoping the holiday spirit encourages everyone in the St. Louis area to give and help remember a potential crisis. Watching that general condition, South Louis.
Goodwill will gladly accept almost any item, but they are especially in need of small appliances and housewares.
In tonight's Funny Matters, news of a big rally on Wall Street. Dow closing up more than 40 points today. The gain is fueled by a drop in the interest rate in West Germany, France, and the Netherlands.
Radio personalities have been told by the FCC that radio programming is okay between midnight and 6 in the morning. And because teen children are likely to be during this time. Daytime period applies to the recent TV program. It is ruled by the Federal Communications Commission to clarify mutual ruling that 3 radio stations were guilty of broadcasting indecent programs.
Radio will hit contact with the pilot and control towers for a better track in the county.
And the electronic function pilot and just that for the lady, even a calculation on that device by the contact recognizes that the is doing it.
I'm not a good impressed. I think these apparatus have possibly rise to the look. Well, it serves me wrong. Loretta James wants to spend the news and the concern. Stop the talk, get the news, you said that. The best way is without saying. Loretta.
My dad has 2, my brother has 1, I now have 3, Mom has 2. I had it 2 years and it's going to be 3 years in December.
Almost 5 years.
For 10 years. No problems whatsoever. No problems.
Absolutely none.
More reliable than my husband. My husband's not around anymore, but my Seiko is.
Seiko.
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 Seiko. Seiko.
Seiko. It's just your style. Available at dealers.
Close your eyes for a moment. Because we'd like you to imagine sauteing imagine where you can get this and 5 other new dishes we call the delightful. Here. You know, I've always been a worried one. Like when I needed cataract surgery. Never worried about the hospital registry, how much it was going to cost, and if I'd really see anything. And then I went to the cataract surgery center at Brooklyn. An intimate, specialized eye surgery where doctors painted and gold teeth, stored my sight, less than half an hour. And Medicare covered most of the cost. Call the cataract surgery center at Brooklyn. There's nothing to worry about. You're safe.
The FAA has released tapes of the conversation between the pilot and control tower in the minutes before last month's jet crash in Indianapolis. The pilot was on his approach to the Indianapolis airport when he asked if there were any populated areas nearby. But tapes show no evidence that controllers ever answered the question. The pilot overshot the runway, and he was diverted to a second runway, but he couldn't bring it down there. The FAA can offer no explanation as to why the pilot was not told about the hotel and the surrounding area. And the hotel's lobby died in that crash. International reports will see that patients in the first, especially if you're planning to travel for the holidays.
By now, most people realize that airlines have stalled and sputtered in their attempts to remedy passenger complaints. And while they are trying to get back on course, there are things you can do. As Channel 2 Lisa Brown reports in part 1 of Ambience. It's a bright, sunny day. The poor weather will not be a factor in our trip to Chicago. There is no line at the check-in counter, but we soon find it does not matter if there is a sea of people. We aren't going anywhere. Why would the ones like me?
That's all I know.
Equipment problem?
Maintenance problem. Shortage of equipment. I'm not the worst ever. We have no idea what that is.
FAA spokesman John Morrison may not know the exact reason, but some of the business people on the flight seem to think the flight was canceled because not enough seats were sold. In fact, the plane which we were supposed to be on had just flown in from Little Rock with no problem, and had even arrived early. Well, airlines do not guarantee their schedules, and we should always prepare for the worst. Now, instead of landing in Chicago a little bit after 11 o'clock, we will not be leaving here until that time. Had there been another airline going to O'Hare before that time, we would have asked TWA to endorse our tickets on the new carrier. And that's what you can do if you find your flight has been canceled and another airline is leaving soon. Once you board the new flight, 125, there are more delays. Then, after refueling, another delay. The tow track which pulled L-1011 away from the gate will not start. Passengers like Arthur Jeremy may suffer some financial losses by missing appointments. The airlines say tough luck. They almost always refuse to pay for losses. So if you have to attend any timely event, allow plenty of leeway in your schedule. But even if you are aboard a jumbo jet or eventually fly to Europe, you find there are no problems storing carry-on luggage. It is not a time that has become canceled. So much so that many airlines are now allowing passengers to carry on only one piece of luggage on chartered flights. That's the delay. We are pulled out of the gate at 11:18. At 11:32, a half hour late, we leave the runway. The flight attendants on board are courteous and helpful, and in fact, their service is not a major complaint at all among passengers. The second most frequent complaint following delays and cancellations is late or lost luggage. The Department of Transportation says TWA is sixth among major airlines in the number of baggage handling complaints. While our baggage arrived safely without much of a wait at O'Hare, that was not the case on a flight into St. Louis later in the week. On that trip, the wait for luggage from a TWA flight was 45 minutes. If your baggage is very late, contact airline personnel so they give you money for emergency purchases or reimburse you later. They pay only reasonable expenses, however. If your luggage is damaged or lost, also contact airline personnel immediately. They usually have a loss limit, though, of $1,250. Keep a list of the airline employees you deal with. You may need them in negotiations with the airline, and it always helps if you have a communicator loss. Tomorrow night, we'll look at how you can deal with other common airline problems so you do not find yourself winging it. Here's Lisa Brown, Channel 2 News. And still ahead, Ron is the forecaster.
That's the number for you to call for our travel weather hotline. Grab a pencil and paper. We'll be back in a moment.
Chevy Truck Month is here.
This is an all-new Chevy full-size pickup with both power and payload than Ford. And I think it's better looking.
Right now, during Truck Month, your Mid-America Chevy dealers are wheeling dealing on new full-size or S10 Chevy pickups. Plus, you can save up to $1,900 on popular options if you buy now. Over 3,500 trucks to choose from. Your Mid-America Chevy dealers are giving the competition will be crushed.
Happy Thanksgiving from National Supermarkets, where Riverside self-tasting F turkeys are just 29 cents a pound with purchase. Delicious Peebly ice cream, half-gallon cartons now 2 for $3. From the Fall Harvest, Louisiana sweet potatoes, 3 pounds for $1. Stock up on all your Coca-Cola favorites in big 2-liter bottles, only 98 cents each. Plus, wonderful holiday treats in Altrox's new Insiders Report at National Supermarkets, where lower prices mean bigger savings. For just $13 a month this Monday, November 3rd. America's talking about Corona. Success of Corona is welcome you, the brave and beautiful Marla. The one-name phenomenon. Corona, you'll never know what to expect. From Fit for Life all the way to the Pritikin Plan, what you can do to lose weight over the fat holiday on the next Geraldo. Well, tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Only on Channel 2.
Well, the travel weather hotline number, again, is still open at 544-5884. And, of course, toll-free. We're answering your phone calls. If you are traveling this Thanksgiving holiday or know someone who will be, pass along our number, toll-free 1-800. Same number, 544-5884. And those who started to travel yesterday had a much better day because today, more than an inch of rain for St. Louis, more than 3 inches for parts of the Channel 2 area, more than 5 inches for Springfield, Missouri, a tornado near Dallas, and they're still having a lot of delays there at the airport, and heavy snows to the north across Wisconsin and Michigan. In the Midwest, it's really a pain. And here's our high temperature today, 46 degrees with rain all day, the low 39, and officially at the airport, 1.1 inches of rain. However, there's certainly more to report. We'll have reports in a second. Right now, it's still light rain and fog, same old story, 44 degrees. Dew point is 44, humidity 100%, wind out of the northwest at 9, and with the fog, Lambert Field, as of last hour, we're still reporting delays of 30 to 60 minutes. Now, to the Neighborhood Network volunteers, all reporting a lot of rain, and to show you exactly who had what, 2.1 inches of rain at Shreveport, 2 inches in Chesterfield, roughly 1 to 2 inches across our area, but as I mentioned, down to the southwest of Rolla, we have a report there of 3.2 inches from the official weather reporting station down there. And you can see why, plenty of clouds, all the way from Michigan down to Missouri, Texas, with a variety of weather. Snow to the north, with a thunderstorm and even tornadoes to the south of Texas. It's beautiful in the southwest, clear Phoenix, LA, San Francisco, clearing now in Seattle with temperatures in the 40s, but heavy snows now taking shape for the northern Rockies. Good news to skiers there. South clear for the Carolinas and Florida. Plenty of clouds from Louisiana up to Little Rock and St. Louis. And for the northeast, again, the airports are relatively normal now. The rest of the clouds in tomorrow, roll things down by tomorrow afternoon. Places like Boston and New York. Here's the problem spot. We have a tornado about 50 miles north of Texas, 50 miles north of Dallas, Texas. Some damage reported. Nothing to Dallas, but a lot of delays at the airport there. Heavy rains across eastern Oklahoma, more than 2 inches of rain just in the last 3 to 4 hours. that is going to be continued problem area with flash flood potential all night tonight. In color, you can see the rain across most of the Midwest, snow falling now in Wisconsin and North Dakota, and low pressure will play their weather map early Thanksgiving and hopefully in early to the precipitation and colder weather. Here's the temperature map for tomorrow. 70s to the south, 30s and 40s to the north for Wednesday. So rain continuing tonight, 46. Normally windy tomorrow, rain ending with a high temperature of 54. Down the way to 36, hopefully no rain and a lot of clouds. Friday will be cloudy 48. Saturday will be cloudy at 50. About it, 544. We're here until 11 o'clock tonight. We're 10 to 12 meteorology students all times between 5 and 11 o'clock tonight. And we'll be here again tomorrow. So give us a call to play on Savage, the free service of Channel 2.
All right, thanks a lot, Ron. This is here to tell us about a race car driver who wishes to stay on the ground.
They almost died in the air. Poor Elliot, a harrowing experience. The plane crash. The whole story of the rest.
Toyota Camry, Hyundai Ford, Mazda 626 are all great family sedans, but the 626 is something special. For starters, it has a much better warranty, 12% more interior room, plus close to $1,000 back. Just wait to try this world-class road car. Get a great deal at your latest St. Louis Mazda dealer today. The Maggie of a gift from Chucky. Or a Checker's Triple Bottle Sapphire. Why? Synthetic sapphire crystal black hole. Your Christmas fantasy.
Okay, call me a coward. I just don't like running all over town looking for the perfect Christmas gift. That's up. One place with a lot to choose from. Not a bunch of big names, low prices. Marriott is running in fantastic. Yeah, that's what they're thinking of next. No cholesterol. Discover the best recipe.
Race car driver is one lucky fellow.
That is, that's the pilot. Another incident today, Epsom, Georgia. You know, on Sunday, one of the superstars of the NASCAR circuit, Bill Elliott, won the Atlanta Journal 500 and is still doing well over the $1 million mark in winnings for the season. But all that money, plus all the close calls and mistakes on the racetrack, couldn't have compared Elliott to what happened to him today. This morning, he went up in an Air National Guard jet to cut a promotional message to the Guard. The jet he was riding in collided in midair with another National Guard jet. Luckily, Elliott and the pilot survived without injury. Let's go to the words of Elliott sometime after return to National Guard headquarters in Georgia. Well, one jet did crash. The pilot ejected himself, though, and Elliott for a while thought he might have to do the same thing. Fortunately, Elliott and his pilot made it back to the ground safely. The other pilot rescued by helicopter. Everyone is all right. Well, as we told you 5 and 6 after weeks of talks and rumors, the defending Stanley Cup champion Edmonton Oilers has finally traded superstar holdout defenseman Paul Coffey. Edmonton dealt Coffey, Dave Hunter, and minor leaguer Wayne Van Dorp to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for 4 players. 20-year-old forward Craig Simpson, rookie defenseman Chris Joseph, veteran defenseman Mo Mantha, and center Dave Hammond. Now, Coffey's been holding out all season today to try a contract with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So Coffey's fine and going to Pittsburgh and of course playing Edmonton with Coach Gretzky, going 40 years old as a defenseman rookie 2 years ago. Now he'll be playing in Pittsburgh with Mario Lemieux. After sitting out so long, waiting and listening, obviously Coffey is in.
championship on the ice tonight in the only game in the NHL schedule. The Maple Leafs beat the Islanders 4-3. For a look at the Nassau Coliseum, pick it up with Nico Macula with a tackle, a takedown. Forget about the sticks in hockey. Come on, Nicola. Anyway, later during the game, the Islanders with Thomas Johnson tied the game at 2 apiece. But the winning goal came with 20-40 left by Al Alessandro. Alessandro with a great game. Look at the star. Then cuts in, brings the puck to his forehand. The puck actually went off the skate of Kenny Morrow into the net. The Leafs win it 4-3. College basketball in the Big Apple NIT tonight. Johnny Orr's Cyclones of Iowa State out-dueled Purdue by the NBA score of 104-96. For a look, let's go to Maggie Arena in West Lafayette. Let's take a look at the Cyclones in red on defense. Purdue getting it to Melvin McCann. He gets hit in the arm, scores anyway. McCann with the basket. Later on, Jeff Grayer in the low post. The talented Cyclone with 2 of his 28 as he led Iowa State. What a game this was. Troy Lewis showed him. He said, hey, I'm going to pop it from here. He did. He also had 28. 3 of them on that shot right there. Gary Thompson answered back the other end. They said his foot was on the line. They set the 2-point basket to put Iowa State up by 4. And Gene Candy didn't like it. Later, Lester Rowland, one of the newcomers to Cyclone class this year, into the layup. Iowa State wins it by 8, going away. And the other game in the NIT, Dayton Hall walloped Middle Tennessee State 93-61. Well, the Pistons tonight defeated the Houston Rockets 97-83. So look at that one. Let's go to the Summit in Houston. The Pistons on the road taking a big lead early on. As you see, the beautiful crossover dribble by Joe Dumars in the basket. Pistons led by 24 at halftime. But Alan Level came back with this three-pointer. He had 15 of his 17 in the third quarter. Rockets down by just 7. Then later on, once the play underneath, Sampson with a rebound. Misses. Elijah cleans up, but it wasn't enough. Pistons win it tonight by 14. That's
Got to stick around just for this next story. The new leader of Santa's group of reindeer is no reindeer at all.
That's right. He was the world's first and only flying moose. Reindeer next.
Those are the ones.
St. Louis Lincoln Mercury Dealers Buy Now sales drive is on. A great selection, convenient delivery and financing. And here's news. Lincoln Mercury's new $600 customer cash on Cougar and Sable. With customer cash and a popular equipment package, save over $1,500 on Cougar, $1,400 on Sable, and $400 on Razor and Ring, too. Buy now. Great deals and trades on everything. The Buy Now sales drive ends shortly. After that, bye-bye. Make the best of St. Louis Lincoln Mercury Dealers. Buy now. And best of luck for safety.
Perfume for my mom and a nice sweater for myself. But when the total came to over $123, I thought, goodbye, department store. Hello, Martin. I paid 26% on it. The same brand as the department store card. And I paid a lot less. So, goodbye, department store. Hello, Marshall.
From 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m.
You've got 2 ways to save at Rossman.
Plan 1. Take 45% more off your ready price on Metro St. Louis' largest and most beautiful display of fine furniture.
Plan 2. Buy with no money down and get free financing for 24 months.
So your cash, credit card, checkbook at home. You don't need them.
Wednesday for 12 hours only.
At Rossman Furniture, all stores.
Well, you're probably familiar with mistletoe, and it's very
Well, but have you ever heard of mistletoe? Tonight at the American Theater, hundreds of St. Louis area youngsters found out that mistletoe is a free of blind lead character and actress Lauren Leonard.
Sutcliffe had been shot to death. 24 hours after the grim discovery, police announced that they had solved the murders. 19-year-old Kurt Smithers, seen here in a 9th grade yearbook photo, and Carrie Batten, who lived here not far from the murder scene, were arrested overnight and charged with murder. Police think Smithers and Batten knocked at the Sutcliffe door at 1 yesterday morning. Once inside, police claim Smithers and Batten shot the Sutcliffe threw a family out of that building without escape. But Carrie Batten say police knew the teenage son in that evicted family, and the dispute somehow factors into the murder. Late this morning, police divers were to enter the Oswego River near Batten's home, looking for the clothes the two men allegedly wore during the crime. They won't say if Smithers and Batten have confessed, but say they have found the gun used to kill the Sutcliffes. Dave Fuller, News Center 5.
Batten reported on one of the more unusual burglaries in Onondaga County. The burglary happened at Flavin's Irish Pub, a bar near Syracuse. What made it unusual was the bar owner's decision to shoot at the two burglars. One of the burglars, John Milnicki, lost one of his legs because of the shooting. Today in Onondaga County Court, Milnicki also lost his freedom. Judge William Berg sentenced Milnicki to up to 4 years in prison, even though Milnicki's lawyer argued that Milnicki has suffered enough.
Also in County Court, the murder trial of Donald Hogan continues. Hogan's accused of fatally choking a 71-year-old Fayetteville woman named Dorothy Golly last May. Today, Golly's stepson, Leroy Golly, appeared. He identified some of the dead woman's belongings. And that's important because it is part of prosecutor John Duncan's effort to show Hogan planned to rob Dorothy Golly and kill her during that robbery. A Syracuse man accused of terrorizing 4 people while robbing 2 homes in the last month was arraigned in city court this morning. Dale Healy entered pleas of innocent to charges of robbery, burglary, and unlawful imprisonment, among other charges. On November 20th, police say Healy entered the home of Marjorie Rogers in DeWitt. He allegedly bound and gagged Rogers and a family friend while he ransacked the home. He's also accused of a similar crime on November 1st. The freezing temperatures made for treacherous driving this morning during rush hour in the Syracuse area.
Accidents too numerous to count were reported to area police department. One accident on Onondaga Lake Parkway ramp at Route 81 was among the reported mishaps, and in all involved at least 68 cars. 5 persons were injured. One here at this location. None of the injuries were life-threatening. The problem seemed to be the same. Drivers fooled by wet pavement that turned to ice on the bridge.
And I seen the person way up front of me punching her lights, and I said, geez, he must be hitting ice. So I took my foot off the gas, hit the pedals, and there was no response.
Another traffic pileup took place at the Mattydale Circle at the Route 81 off-ramp. Once again, fortunately, there were no serious injuries. Well, it's become a traditional sign of the holiday season, the lighting of the Money Towers downtown. Just like last year's lighting, thousands of lights outlining the towers will be turned on during a special ceremony tonight at 6. Hundreds are expected to turn out for the event.
Still ahead on News Center 5, the pre-summit posturing.
And an audience with the money gurus. Stay with us for more of News Center 5.
Hi, my name is Saul Fester. I'm the president of Queen City Home Health Care. I would like to tell you about a medical product that is very effective and may be at no cost to you. This is the C-Grip chair. It is being used by thousands of people who suffer from severe arthritis as a form of treatment in their home. Best of all, if you qualify, you can receive this chair at no cost. Here's how. You must have a qualifying condition such as severe arthritis or other diseases which make the chair a medically necessary treatment. You must be enrolled in Medicare, Part B, and have a Medicare co-insurance policy which covers a Medicare deductible and co-payment. Many people suffer from arthritis but cannot get up to the physician. This chair will give them the independence to get around and help them avoid falls and injuries. So if you're Medicare recipient and meet previous conditions, then you can get this lift chair at low cost. Just call 1-800-544-3500 toll free, and we'll tell you how you can get this lift chair delivered to your door at no cost. That's 1-800-544-3500.
Cats across America.
diamond cutting. Our buyers go there, select their finest diamonds, and pass the savings along to you. We're Richard and Company Fine Jewelers. Come see our very special selection of fine diamonds for that very special someone in your life. What could be more romantic than a magnificent diamond from one of the world's great artists? That's Richard and Company Fine.
Before he discovered the social media Gorbachev, White House sources say the president greatly expects to send a classified report to Congress accusing the Kremlin of another treaty violation. One official says the latest near Moscow and Kiev violates the 1972 One hostage was freed overnight by Rebecca's freedom inmates and the federal prison in Colorado. It was a sign of good faith. Negotiations are continuing in an effort to end the stalemate. 89 prison workers are still being held hostage. Well, Chicago has a new mayor.
Eugene Sawyer, the longest-serving black alderman in the city, was chosen for the job by his colleagues early this morning. Sawyer was chosen following a long and stormy session of the city council, one which lasted well into the early morning hours. Sawyer will fill the post until a special election was held in 1989, shows the vacancy created by the death last week of Harold Washington. New York retailers fared pretty well during last week of November. The Retail Council of New York says most retailers reported sales increases of 3 to 4% during the week that traditionally begins the holiday shopping season. Money expert Steve Crowley continues his trip to a New Orleans financial conference. Today he talks to a top expert about the future of the stock market.
Is it too late to buy stocks and shares in stock mutual funds? Should we buy more? Or should we sell what we own now? Take those profits and launch them for real. This case in New Orleans for around the time to hear what expert mentors of Wall Street say has to recommend. Gibson, who was optimistic about the post-crash stock market? He told me small investors, by and large, have remained optimistic too.
Many hard money enthusiasts, people who recommend gold and silver as both inflation hedges and investments for hard times, don't like the stock market at all right now. That includes Howard Ruff, author of the Rough Times newsletter.
Ruff recommends selling stocks and stock funds when and if prices jump up a little. Falls it, selling into rallies.
If I've taken a hit on my stock and mutual funds, what's your advice now? Should I sell now or hold on? So Dow Jones was 2,100 and 20,000. I think that's and utility stocks, utility funds. Robert Winger, the man who wins through intimidation and teaches us how to look out for number one. He'll tell us what's ahead in the depression he says has already begun. I'm Steve Crowley with your Money Report.
Still to come, 'tis the season for flurries in the 5-cast.
And in sweaters, pet food, movie tracks. Stay with us for more of News Center 5.
My best two sides of the week.
Now the season to enjoy a warm, glowing fire in your fireplace. When a buildup of creosote in your chimney can mean extensive fire and smoke damage to your home. Meet the professionals at LB's Chimney Sweeping Service. LB's Chimney Sweeping not only cleans, but offers full-service chimney care. From relining and masonry to animal removal. LB's Chimney Sweeping Service will get the job done right.
Wow, they sure look so classy. Now, if you wonder if you might have given Classic the recipe for these Blue Country Classic sweet pickles.
When your little helpers get thirsty, serve them Minute Maid apple juice, fruit punch, Concord punch, and other flavors. Minute Maid fruit drinks are healthy and fun. 10-ounce bottles, just 59 cents each. Nice and easy grocery shops are your Christmas helpers. Open Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Feel the warmth and friendly spirit of Skinny Atlas during the holiday season. Open Thursdays and Fridays until 8:30 and Sundays from 12 to 5. Discover Christmas in Skinny Atlas.
And now, the viewer's opportunity to speak out in letters to the editor. Letters directed to one Jim Holland.
All right, and we're going to talk about nuns in our area who reach retirement age and what they have to face. First letter from a Syracuse viewer who has this to say about those who gave everything and expect nothing in return. I usually watch News Center 5, and on Friday evening I was completely flabbergasted by a story. It was your piece about retiring nuns, and it was just too much for me to believe. These women who commit 40 to 60 years of their lives to the church should not have to go begging for their retirement. The Catholic Church is one of the richest organizations in the world, and it is outrageous that they should ask poor Catholics to support the nuns. These women should live out their lives in luxury, as they consider guests from Syracuse. Recent prison riots among interned Cubans prompts this letter from an Auburn viewer who writes, 3 years ago, the U.S. attacked the island of Grenada and found a Cuban influence. The 600 Cuban men and women there were returned to Cuba. At this time, the U.S. still had the problem of the more than 1,000 criminals and mentally ill people who were dumped on us during the Carter administration. I suggested at that time to the State Department that they combine the problems and return both groups to Cuba together. Their response called that deception. This ridiculous attitude has resulted in a multi-million-dollar prison fire set by John Welsinski from Auburn. From Richford, a question of budget. Several times I have witnessed the near collision of cars. The time I was riding with the driver of the car beside me decided to pass, even though oncoming traffic obviously was much too close. Although I slowed down so an accident was avoided, each time the cars barely missed crashing. Is there anything that can be done about this deadly matter? Each time this has happened, someone very near me has been in the car with me. That's a housewife and mother from Richford. Well, we're told by the police spokesman Bob Marquardt that you should try to get the make of the car and the license plate number if possible, and then report both along with the incident to your local law enforcement agency. The state police, he tells us, does follow up on such reports. And finally, there is an unusual story from a Syracuse viewer who tells us, last year my dog suffered an itching problem which created great discomfort. Without going into details, I found this problem was caused by the red dye put into some dog food. Maybe you could pass this along on your SPCA segment, and that sign, Seeing Red in Syracuse. Well, we did talk to the SPCA's Dorothy Lobdell, and she tells us it is true that some cheaper pet foods do use red dye. What you should do is read the labels and make sure you don't buy any of that. She also suggests buying the natural dog foods. Okay, if you have something on your mind, we'd like to hear from you. Send your letter to Letters to the Editor, in here at WGBH-TV, 980 James Street, Syracuse, New York, 13203, and your name will be so requested. Dorothy also told me that a lot of the dog foods, especially, are changing their minds about dyes and preservatives and what have you, because people simply are stopping buying them. So she says it's being phased out.
Yes, too, but probably the best solution is to ask your vet what should be best for your dog.
All right, she tells us that they've always been advising natural dog food.
Scientific guidance is one. That's why you get close to the content.
Okay, so much for dog food. This is Terry Peters, and this is Big Red Man.
west at 11 miles an hour. A weather disturbance moving eastward through our region is leaving a trail of cloud cover and snowfall over most of central New York. These wintry conditions are expected to stay with us right through the end of the week. Taking a look at the temperatures around our viewing area. Oswego up to the Lake Bay checking on cloudy skies and 31. Old Fort has the low for the area. They have snow and 26 degrees, and in Fulton they have our high. They have 25. And for tomorrow, cloudy with a chance of light snow later on in the day. Taking a look at the whole picture ahead for Friday through Sunday, partly cloudy, a chance of flurries each day, the highs 35 and the lows around 20. Chilly.
Be in a bit of a rush, don't we?
Yes, a winter rush.
Well, in sports this noon hour, while all of the attention of late has been focused on SU's football and basketball teams, Lemoyne's basketball team is home opener. John Akins has a preview.
The Dolphins are 2-1, but head coach John Beeline feels his squad is just a couple of foul shots away from being unbeaten. Beeline, beginning his fifth season at the helm, returns a very talented squad.
From bottom to top, we're as good as any team we've had, but because of the intangibles we have. But we still do not have great quickness and do not have great size, but we're hoping all those other things will make up for that loss.
Two of the Dolphins' key returnees are senior forward Scott Hicks, last season's most valuable player, and Pete Jerebko.
I think Coach wants to establish pretty much team depth this year. Last year we were playing maybe 6-7 guys the whole year, but we need 9 or 10 guys. I think our schedule's the toughest it's ever been.
Before this season ends, Jerebko will become one of the top scorers in Lemoyne's history. Jerebko knows it, but the unselfish senior says personal records come second.
I think I'm around 1,200, but that's back in my mind. I'd like to get 20 wins this year and hopefully get to the tournament. That's one goal I really want to reach.
Last season, the Dolphins finished at 20-10. Beeline says several things have to fall into place to reach that plateau this season.
We really think our kids have an awful lot of heart and that we can play with anybody, particularly on our court. The key for us this year is we have to win on the road. We just have to go on and play well on the road and shoot fouls well on the road.
Tonight's tip-off for that Lemoyne Scranton game is 8 o'clock. John Eves, News Center 5 Sports.
How expensive will those holiday meals be? Mr. Food has been checking out the prices at the market, and here with some good news.
It's best food buy of the week, and there's a lot of ways to save money at the table, but this time of year we sometimes throw caution to the wind because of the high stress much over the holiday season. I mean, we're eating at odd hours, so we can't give too much time for preparation. So we can still have some good buys on hand, such as cauliflower and broccoli. I feature them this week, well, especially here in our area, with all of the sales that we're finding out. And if we don't get a chance to quick cook them, then they're still just throwing the salad over the Easter snacking. Now, certainly the so-called winter vegetables of potatoes, onions, carrots, they can be used in a time-saving stew or a thick soup that we make the night before and just warm it the next day supper time. Just a little bread with that, it's a whole meal. Stew is Easter better the second day anyway, and only one pot to wash. And a quick salad with any of your fun ingredients, don't get in there too. In fruit, the citrus is getting better every day. The more into the season we get, the sweeter it gets. There's a lot of varieties of excellent apples around and pears around. They'll continue for a while. Pineapples are in now, and they are really holiday favorites. So with ground beef on sale, I made some burgers and put some new cheese on one. It's like they're offering all the new hanging plant restaurants, but at a better price. Toast is made out of ground turkey also. Just add a little more seasoning to it as you run into them. Pick up a few little black little squash. They look like little seaweed pumpkins, and after you use them for table decoration, just bake them, and they are the sweetest squash you could ever imagine. See, there's plenty of these seaweed items to do.
Still ahead on News Center 5, the return of the Rat Pack.
And how about the taste of a brioa? We'll tell you all about it when we return with more of News Center 5.
Shop this week and save on Ambience brand
ground steak or roast, only $1.57 a pound. Stock up on Blue Boy peas, corn, green beans, the 17-ounce Scandinavian green for just $1. And great tasting, juicy California navel oranges, size 7, only $1. When it comes to saving you more on your overall food bill, we wrote the book.
Natural and designer wool, silk, and cotton fabrics in an array of colors and textures. Fashion-conscious seamstress will find a full line of Vogue and folkwear patterns for that classic look. The Fabric Barn carries the latest notions for crafters and quilters, all at reasonable prices. And as always, you can expect personalized service from our experienced staff. The Fabric Barn, 105 Brooklyn Drive, Limestone Plaza, Fayetteville.
Dad always said, watch what you say. Not bad advice. Sometimes you wouldn't see trees. I put away 5 trees. I put up with the monthly thing. My wife said I should cut down. I told her to stop that. My friends called me not like it.
Different from other materials. It's the price, selection, and service. For price, we have the leading edge model beams starting at $8.99. For selection, we stock over 500 titles of software and hundreds of accessories. For service, we have accountants, programmers, and engineers to answer your questions. So for service and selection at a great price, visit the Center.
Among today's people in the news, Canadian Joan Rivers says she will file a $50 million lawsuit against Jones Quarterly Magazine. Rivers says the magazine lied when it claimed that she wished her late husband were dead because of all their marital problems. She says that any money granted through the lawsuit will be given to a fund to help libel victims who cannot afford their own defense. And the Yacht Talk is back. Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., and Dean Martin planning a 40-show, 29-city tour. Sinatra says the tour was put together with the hope that it could reach audiences outside Las Vegas and Atlantic City. Martin says the performance will also be placed for an HBO cable special. Martin refers to HBO as paying news awful. Like that.
Well, it wasn't on Mr. Boone's list of best food buys of the week, but if some California growers have their way, you'll soon be tasting of Feijoa. If that reports.
Have you ever eaten a Feijoa? Have you ever seen a Feijoa? If you haven't, well, this is a Feijoa.
A Feijoa is a subtropical fruit that is a hybrid second cousin of the pineapple.
That's easy for Barbara Haslam to say. She's been a Feijoa grower for 40 years now. One of only 100 or so around the state who picked this crop to cultivate. A native of Brazil, Feijoa was introduced in California around the turn of the century, and it has struggled to find acceptance. So growers like Haslam have united and are aggressively marketing the Feijoa. They hope their efforts aren't fruitless.
Trying to introduce a new crop like this is insane. They kind of go, ooh, what's that? Smells interesting. Well, I think I'll try that.
And just how does a Feijoa taste?
Sort of like, I don't know. Some say it tastes perfumey, some say spearminty, some banana, some even strawberry. It has its own taste, and until you've tried it, you really can't tell.
Haslam suggests trying Feijoa pie, Feijoa shortcake, Feijoa jam.
Well, you can do anything with a Feijoa you can do with an apple. They have a new, tantalizing taste, and we'd really like everyone to try it.
Trust me, there's no way to find out if you like them. In Napomo, California, Jim Knapp for CBS News.
That'll take them up on a second Feijoa. I think it's our girl right there. All reminds people of everything. That's it for right now. I'll see you again tonight at 6, and we three will return tomorrow at noon. For all of us, this is Center 5. Have a good day.
Next Sunday, when the family business gone and her marriage failed, Jack White, the spirit from a generation past, returns with hope.
You'll need to be home.
The Judy family kindles memories, and a dear tragedy brings the family together again. What do you think?
Onondaga County War Memorial, January 4th through 8th. To help celebrate the fun, PNC, the prize champion, and WTVH5 invite you to opening night, January 4th, with all tickets half price. Muppet Babies reserved tickets on sale now at the War Memorial box office and on restaurant outlet. Don't miss the WTVH5 half price night of the Muppet Babies Brave Animals. Opening night, January 4th. Weekday afternoons at 4 on WTVH5. Just ahead from News Center 5, Onondaga Nation officials deny reports that another fugitive is harbored there. Hotel Syracuse employees to sit down with management in a meeting with the mayor. And the biggest weekend of violence hit the Israeli-occupied Arab lands as the PLO refuses to stop the uprisings there. And in sports, the NFL playoff picture is almost set. The story coming up on Sports Plus in 20 minutes. But first, News Center 5.
In Houston, Tracy Dixon and Puerto Rico. This is News Center 5.
Good evening to you and welcome to our news. Tonight, Onondaga Indians say that to the best of their knowledge, that Indian Eddie Hatcher is not on the Onondaga Indian Reservation. Last week, Timothy Jacobs was arrested in Madison County. Jacobs and Eddie Hatcher, both from North Carolina, are accused of taking employees of a North Carolina newspaper hostage at gunpoint 10 months ago. Both say they took the action because of corruption in Robinson County, and they fear for their lives as they return to that area. Jacobs has been staying on the reservation as the extradition. Reports today by Associated Press that Hatcher has joined Jacobs on the reservation and said that he did not stand for that report. Contacted today, Jacobs' attorney indicated he expected the situation with Hatcher to be resolved shortly. Onondaga County Sheriff John Dillon was not informed with Hatcher's movement, and he was upset with the report that Hatcher was here. Tomorrow, the Onondaga Indian Chief will issue a statement regarding the Hatcher situation. A 58-year-old Auburn man is dead following a tractor-trailer pickup accident in the Cayuga County town of Mence last night. Sheriff's deputies say James Wright died when the pickup truck was driving from a tractor-trailer that was attempting to back up on Centerport Road. The driver of the range, John Corey of Ohio, has been charged with unsafe driving and driving with improper lights. Striking workers at the Hotel Syracuse are walking into their 11th week on the picket line. The meeting is set for tomorrow at City Hall with Mayor Tom Young, but in the meantime, customers continue to turn away.
People to put them out of town. We leave, we'll leave. That's it. All right.
It would be very nice, isn't it? What, the holiday, isn't it?
The strike began October 6th, but hotel management and striking workers have been feeling the pinch ever since. So tomorrow's meeting with the mayor will help bring the two sides together.
Well, we hope something good comes of it. We're that. We don't expect it too much, but we do hope. If nothing good comes of the meeting with Murphy, maybe city will step in and help out.
Strike has idled 150 hotel employees and centers around economic issues and charges of union clusters. Is this country spending enough money to keep the nuclear weapons plant safe? Regular administration officials say no. Energy Secretary John Harrington says the department budget is millions of dollars short and the border is restored to its operation. This morning on the White House staff kind of design, but it's not in place for 1998. right away for the additional cost the company will pay to replace electricity normally generated by that facility. The proposal must still be approved by the State Public Service Commission. Overseas now, a PLO official repeated today that Yasser Arafat's pledges against terrorism do not cover attacks against Israeli military targets and the continued uprisings against Israeli troops in the occupied Arab lands. That today from opinions today from Israeli officials. One of the United States ambassadors to Israel says Arafat is lying when he says he accepts Israel's right to exist and that the PLO will stop terrorist acts. And he says the U.S. decision to talk to the PLO is a contradiction.
They have advantage code. And 2 weeks ago, your Secretary of State refused entry to Yasser Arafat into the U.S. because of his personal involvement in numerous terrorist incidents. Now, what has changed in the last 2 weeks? Not acts of terror. They're carrying them on all the time. What has changed, I'm afraid, is the U.S. position, and you walked away from that agreement.
That Foreign Minister Shimon Peres says he is willing to give Arafat more time to convince PLO members to change their ways. As the debate continues, 3 more Palestinians were killed this weekend in rioting along the Gaza Strip. It was described as the worst weekend of violence in the year-long uprising among Arabs in the Gaza. Observers feel the violence is in response to U.S. talks with the PLO. In the Soviet Union, rescue teams from this country have arrived home, made up of American doctors, fire and rescue specialists, and even some trained dogs. The teams help to assist in the rescue efforts in the aftermath of Ambience earthquake. And Moscow officials now say the next step is restoring housing and industry to that area. Officials say that for the next 48 hours, snow and colder temperatures will be moving in, making housing more critical. A team of seismologists from the U.S. is to arrive there this week to give Soviet officials ideas on how new housing can be built to give more protection in the event of a quake. As the final days of 1988 dwindle away, local manufacturers are calling on Governor Cuomo to make good on a promise. The Manufacturers Association of Central New York is worried that the state's budget problems may delay the scheduled state tax. The group says thousands of manufacturing jobs are at risk if that cut does not go through.
If we don't get our taxes down, our personal income taxes down, it's going to be a less attractive place for people to move. Number 2, if our taxes keep increasing, it makes manufactured goods cost more, and the more they cost, again, the less competitive we are.
Feels the budget crunch can be eased by reducing state spending, not by doing away with something that will help manufacturers. There's just 1 more week left to complete your Christmas shopping, and as Donna Spezielli reports, the pressure was on today at area malls.
What Chucky heard today at area malls was the sound of cash registers. It happens every year. 12 months to prepare for the big day, but somehow it's never enough time.
I've been doing it for about 2 weeks. I'm trying to keep it up to date.
Not enough. How come?
Because of the simple fact there's too many people in my family.
For those who managed to fight the crowds, there were plenty of good bargains to be found today. The stores locked down their prices just before Christmas.
Yeah, that's quite a few good bargains. I think the closer you get to Christmas, the better things are, really. I mean, looks like they're obviously doing a lot of business here.
Well, we bought there's a lot of sweaters on sale at Penny's, and we were into the sports stores buying sportswear and things for some of the relatives.
As shoppers spend the final days in the hustle and bustle, they vow this won't happen next year. But believe it or not, there are those that actually like the pressure.
No problem. 23rd, 24th, lunchtime, we'll go home. Trust me.
If you're not that confident, take heart. You have 6 days left. That's roughly 60 hours in shopping time. Donna Spezielli, News Center 5.
And still to come, some clearing in the 5cast will tell you when. The winning lottery numbers, the data number, 883. The win 4 combination, 6, 3, 7, and 4.
Arnold Schwarzenegger enters the realm of comedy opposite that of the hero in the movie Swing. I'm entertaining them coming back with a single review. know the guys who sell umbrellas in the street? When it's nice out, $3. When it's raining, $10. That was never George F. Johnson's style. On flip-flops? No, on books. And that's not all.
Now, every year, every Thursday, every Friday, everything from old families on sale at
A hard ass, because the prices are really coming down.
If Santa isn't in your favorite store, he's probably in his. Snapping up values like these. Delicious women's sampler. The one-pound assortment is only $3.88. And two. Revlon Charlie or Jean Two Cologne spray are just $5.99. And the Vidal Sassoon Special Effects 3-in-1 stripping iron is only $8.77 after rebate.
Shop Bay's Full Color Circulation Day. Jeff Bergen with last minute gift ideas for everyone on your Christmas list. Today, Huxtable got your average Christmas score.
Sundays Huxtable presents a special kind of family when we get some regular family like yours watching us movie. Let's try to enjoy ourselves. Bye, guys. By the way, I'd love to hear how you feel. Try to find me Friday on the Cosby Show here on WTVH TV5.
Step forward on the other side of town. Be there in 20 minutes. Let's step on it. Go.
Get the facts about AIDS. Call the New York State Health Department's AIDS hotline.
Well, as far as the weather, we got a real mixed picture. Let me tell you more about that. Our high temperature today is 25 degrees up to 137. The current temperature of 52 is on close to 50. And the records for this day, 58 degrees in 1921, minus 13 in 1919. But if you're lucky, you want to consider it that. Precipitation today, 2200 to the west, with 170 to the west. 4.9 inches today, for the month 21.3 inches, and for the season 27.2 inches. Present conditions around the Syracuse area, partly cloudy skies, temperature once again of 15 degrees, the barometer at 29.94, relative humidity at 83%. The winds out of the southeast at 6 miles an hour. And taking a look at the TV5 viewing area, Old Ford reporting 2 degrees in flurries at this hour. Auburn and Beaver reporting cloudy skies, 22 degrees. Keeping 19 degrees in cloudy skies. Oswego, cloudy and 14. And taking a look at the current satellite weather map, a snow advisory is in effect for western New York counties, northern Erie and Niagara, for 2 to 4 inches of deep snow overnight. Otherwise, across the northeast tonight, it's going to be cloudy, partly cloudy patches. Clear to cloudy over the south, and southwest cloudy. Low pressure located there. Southern California also feeling the effects of that same low. And by tomorrow afternoon, it will be cloudy over nearly all of the northeast. Continue clear in the southeast. Cloudy over the northern plains. Snow in the Rockies all the way down to the southwest. In Southern California, it will be covered by clouds, and the northwest will clear out for a change. And now the forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy with periods of snow, accumulations 1 to 2 inches, the low around 20. Westerly winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. And for tomorrow, periods of clouds and sunshine, the high of 34 degrees, southwest winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour, and 45 winds. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with the high of 44. And Wednesday, rain or snow likely, a high of 36. Thursday, partly sunny and colder with a high of 28. Friday, snow likely, and a high of 27. On a lighter note tonight, the latest movie out from Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger is called Twins. But reviewer Dennis Cunningham feels the movie comes out only half-baked.
Twins is a bit of a cheat as a movie comedy. One of the big jokes in its advertising is about 2 brothers who are twins, so they look nothing at all alike. That's pretty fun, actually. Except that in the movie, of course they don't look alike. We don't know why they don't look alike. They're not supposed to look alike. And that's the movie's big joke. You see, that points up a bigger flaw of the movie comedy called Twins, because it wants to be a newer movie comedy. It wants to be Actually, it wants to be several things more. This story of two brothers, the very different results of a long-ago government experiment. Twins wants to be an action movie. Wow. And above all, it wants to be drama playing upon the heartstrings. A bold picture with each guy working up to a traveling companion while being unknowingly involved in the stealing of revolutionary fuel injections for super jet planes while on the trail of their two brothers. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger is prominently placed where there is comedy and posting comedy throughout. Performance, which is okay if you haven't seen it too many times. The movie lists 4 different screenwriters, but it's so sloppy it seems more like 14 different screenwriters. Ivan Reitman is the director who supervises the copyright, and I think created a bit of an own. Armchair, I got a changing now and again, and on the flip side, it's very good at the final five. Twins is somehow half the fun. I'm Dennis Cunningham for CBS News.
And while we're on the subject of twins, in the Christmas rush, has you seen Double? Take a look at this.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Oh, no, it's not Double here. It's the annual Twins and Triplets Christmas party at the Reformed Church on Hill Avenue in Syracuse. And for some parents, Double Trouble is twice the fun.
I see double every day. At the age of my girls, it's easier because they'd rather have the same item. So it makes Christmas shopping a lot easier. I'm sure when they get older, it'll be a little more difficult trying to find something to separate the two.
Even Santa was doing double takes when he arrived. The kids loved it, especially when he wished them all Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Central New Yorkers may be donning their gloves and scarves to keep warm. And it's not so in another cold area, though. In Italy, dozens of scantily dressed swimmers voluntarily jumped into the Sea of Genova. Jumping into the frigid water is part of a traditional winter event there, and after the swim, well, you guessed it, the swimmers gladly accepted towels and blankets and heaters and maybe even a cigarette or two from the supporters. And just ahead from News Center 5, Sports Plus with Mike Tirico. And you'll have tonight's NFL picture, what it means for the playoffs. Stay with us.
No matter what you do this holiday season, you'll want to stop and take time out for Highland's Holiday Sale. Some of the lowest prices of the year, like $99 for a Sony long-range cordless phone with digital security codes, and $167 for an Iowa Dolby Beat dual cassette deck with high-speed dubbing. Highland's Holiday Sale ends Saturday, so don't be left out in the cold.
Hey, I'm really laughing. On behalf of the television Hall Finders crew, thank you to you and yours. We're very sad for a happy holiday season.
Next time on Family Ties, Jennifer runs the system on the very day.
Look what I'm going to give.
That's our girl. Equals are packing her all the way. Including old Alex.
No local school board shall remove books from school library shelves because they dislike the idea of making those books.
How did you know that?
They've only just begun the fight on Family Ties. Monday at 7:30 on WGBH5.
Childhood is a special time. A time of wonder and innocence. A time for fun and games, for shouts and laughter. Childhood is a time when children are happy, safe, and secure. At least, that's how it should be. Learn how to protect
protect your child against sexual abuse. Write to Say No, Box 2000, Albany, Washington 220.
Touchdown pass. That makes it 20-14. Then with 6 minutes left, Sims hooks up with Lionel Manuel to take a 21-20 lead. But then the Jets get a great kickoff return. They'll put together a good drive to set up the game winner. In the last minute, Kenny O'Brien to Altoon for the touchdown as the Jets go on to spoil the Giants' playoff hopes. The Philadelphia Eagles. Cowboys. Another Cunningham touchdown toss. This one to Mike Quick, a 20-yard score, and the Eagles are doing their job. And a nice message from All-Pro Reggie White. Thank you, Reggie. So former Arkansas Don McPherson takes victory for the second straight season, and his Eagle teammates get the NFC title. Let's go to Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The Rams and the Niners. Tom Bradley, this 1-yard touchdown run. But with over a minute left in the first half, Jim Everett finds Henry Elliott in the back of the end zone for a 14-10 lead for the Rams. And as they go to the locker room in the first half, nice scramble by Everett and the touchdown catch by Elliott. In the third quarter, the Rams really open it up. Again, it's Everett on the rollout to the right. This time, he hits Damon Johnson for the 31-13 lead as the Rams win this one 38-16. They really bump the Niners tonight. Let's check out the playoff picture. In the NFC, the division champs are Philly, Chicago, and San Francisco. The wild card game will be Minnesota and the Rams. If Minnesota wins tomorrow night, they'll host the Rams. If they lose to Chicago in the Monday night matchup, then the Rams will host the West game on the West Coast. The scores from this afternoon: New Orleans beats Atlanta by a point, but they don't make it in the playoff. The Bucs salvage what otherwise was a pretty horrible season, beating Detroit 21-10, and Phoenix a loser to Green Bay 26-17. Well, that's the story in the NFC. Coming up next, it's the AFC playoff picture, where the East Division champs Bills making their trip to the Hoosier Dome, looking for a win and home field advantage. The highlights coming up.
This is Syracuse University head basketball coach Jim Boeheim. Join Johnny and Mike Reeves on me this Friday at 7:30 for Boeheim's basketball.
This week we'll review the games against Canisius and Western Michigan and preview the Rutgers matchup. Plus we'll have all the regular teams.
Join us for Boeheim's basketball this Friday at 7:30 on TV5.
Boeheim's basketball is brought to you each week by 104.7 Kicks FM, classic rock and roll, and True Value Hardware.
This is a common everyday food processor. In the newspaper, it looks like this. On the radio, it sounds like this. On television, it looks like this. In television, it make a common everyday food processor look like this. What it can do for the products you sell. Television advertising means business. More business for you.
Call the sales professionals at WTVH
substitute for information. Here, Center 5, we bring you more news in the news. More than our job, it's our promise to you.
News Center 5 at 5:30 and 6 o'clock.
On December 24th, join us at 7 for Christmas in Central New York. And at 11, meet the members of the Ron Curtis Chorale at Nikki's Downtown. Time of wonder, time of joy. Remember your promise when you earned your basic nursing education to provide the best health care your training allows. But nursing today demands a higher degree of knowledge and a more active role in determining the future of the profession. The Health Science Center's College of Nursing invites associate degree and diploma nurses to grow in the profession by earning a combined baccalaureate and master's degree through full or part-time study. You'll gain the skills needed to be a clinical nurse specialist and to keep pace with the demanding field. Let your future start with us today.
Welcome back to Sports Plus. Now time for the AFC picture. The Bills have known for some time that they're going to the playoffs. The only thing they weren't sure of is how many postseason matchups they'd have at home. Well, they found out today in Indianapolis. They traveled to the Hoosier Dome, and on the opening kickoff, Ronnie Harmon fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by kicker Dean Biasucci, who later kicks a field goal to put Indy up 3-0. Both offenses can't get anything going until late in the second quarter. Jim Kelly will find Andre Reed wide open over the middle, and the Bills will take a 7-3 lead Kelly and Reed hooking up one more time, this time for 7 yards. Bills take a 14-3 lead before St. Louis got touchdown after 9 games. Then they put stuff right back over the game. That means that they really needed to fill the 5 minutes left. The Colts needed victory for shot the playoffs. They rise to the occasion for not letting Albert Bentley with the touchdown grab for the score in the final minutes of the game as the Bills lose home field advantage by losing late to the Colts 17-14. In icy Cleveland, the Browns lead a win to get a wild card spot. They host the Oilers without quarterback Bernie Kosar. The backup Don Strauch gets off to a rocky start. The veteran with 3 interceptions, 2 by Domingo Brown, and the second match, they take this one back for 4. Oilers up 10-0. After the Browns offense struggled with defense out with the point on the board, Warren Reed takes the sack, fumbles the ball, and Michael Kelly will pick it up and go in for the score. The Browns get 16 seconds at the half. Seahawks at this point. The Raiders don't bail out, though. In the fourth quarter, Jay Schrader gets the Raiders within 6. He tossed a 54-yard ball to Mervin Fernandez. LA trailing 40-34. The Seahawks go on to go with North Johnson hitting the field goal again. Seattle up 43-34. Raiders tried the Hail Mary pass at the end of the game. They get down to the ground, and the Seahawks won with the West with a 43-37 victory over the LA Raiders. Let's check out the AFC playoff picture where everything is set. Houston versus Cleveland in the wild card game. That'll be next Saturday. The divisional playoffs, as usual, Cleveland winner will go to Buffalo, and then Seattle will play at Sydney. The rest of the scores in the AFC this afternoon, it is the win over San Diego, loses for wins over Kansas City 24-13, and Miami gets thumped by Pittsburgh. Scott, we have a really nice long test that set up on Miami score in that game, though. The other end of the playoff spectrum is the worst section of the top draft choice. UCLA quarterback Troy Aikman seems to be everybody's favorite #1 pick. Dallas, the #1 spot. They shuffle quarterbacks all season long, so they'll probably take Aikman #1. Then Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Atlanta 2 through 5, and they will pick obviously the next best players available in the draft depending on their needs. And you know, with the teams like Detroit, Green Bay, Kansas City, and Atlanta, you never really know what's going to happen. That's the story in the NFL, and we'll come back to the NHL, little basketball, and hockey things, including the highlights of tonight's Knicks and Celtics matchup. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Rocky. I'm not from Texas. I'm from Syracuse. I'd like to ask you a question. How'd you like to be rich? I mean, really rich. Not in cattle or silver or gold.
the Living Word broadcast. Sunday morning from 7 to 8.